The Nikki Papa program is a fatherhood program. It's based on strengthening families, effective communication, proactive parenting, understanding the role of a father, and creating stronger family bonds. It doesn't have to be Indigenous fathers, it can be anybody, but I think the program is specifically targeted towards Métis fathers and Indigenous fathers. The Nikki Papa program is intended to strengthen family bonds, better define the role of a father, and support the well-being of their children. This program is very specific. There's not a lot of program for men, more specifically not a lot of program for Indigenous men, and even more specific than that, there's not a lot of programming for Indigenous fathers, First Nations, Métis, Inuit fathers. So this program is very unique. The success would be targeted towards feedback in a sense that having a father suggests that he's better improved his relationship with his children. Pending everything goes well, I hope there'll be a high demand for the program. I've created some great relationships in the community so far. I think it's a lot of community-based resources. There's schools that have suggested that their fathers enroll in the program. There's pamphlets at the schools, some schools so far. A lot of word of mouth from other agencies at the Manitoba Métis Federation. So I think it's going to be a lot of that. The program would run either once or twice a week, depending on where I am or where the program is, what the availability of the fathers is. So tentatively, could be once a week at 2 hours per session. Indigenous education is culturally sensitive, all-inclusive education for everybody, specifically including the Indigenous people of Canada. I would define the word Indigenous by saying original, the original people of Canada. If the other fathers identify as Indigenous, sure. If they identify as Métis, if they identify as First Nations, if they identify as anything, I would include anything, but specifically how each individual identifies. Education from an Indigenous perspective would include cultural teachings, trauma-informed care, strength-based approach, traditional teachings. The future of Indigenous education, specifically towards my community, towards Winnipeg, because we have such a high Indigenous population, I think it would teach the youth to better appreciate who they are and where they come from. I foresee kind of the same thing for Canada as a whole, because a lot of Indigenous children don't understand or appreciate where they come from. So I think better educating them on that, who they are, where they come from, could lead to bigger and better things. Having programs that had previously run specific to this, to what we're doing in Nikki Papa, it's so specific that there's not a lot of programs or people that have done this in the past. So it's kind of trial and error, trial by fire, seeing what works, what doesn't. So I think it would benefit me had I been able to see something like this previously in the past. But there's not a lot. It's kind of fly by the seat of our pants. But I don't want to say that because it makes us sound unorganized, which we're not. But at the same time, there's not a lot of people that have done what this program is doing in the past.